All right, guys, game 7. That was fun. Disappointing for Toronto fans, and you got to be excited if you're a Boston fan. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment on it. Guys, let's talk about Celtics Raptors. Heartbreaking for the Toronto Raptors. That was impressive series from them in so many different ways. But you've got to give credit to Boston. They earned this. They showed that they're a team that's just getting better and better and that they have the pieces to win playoff series. It's going to be interesting to see what Boston does against the Miami Heat next round. But you've got to just, if you're a Celtics fan, you got to be excited because you've got a star in this guy. This guy, Jayson Tatum, is really, really good. He is solid. Tonight, 29 points. He had a little bit of a rough time from the field, 39%, because he's the main guy and they were going at him. But he was 4 for 8 from 3. He was 7 for 10 from the free throw line and 12 rebounds, 7 assists. Just monster stuff. And only 3 turnovers, so his assist to turnover ratio is fantastic. He passes every eye test. Like, he just looks like the guy. When he's on the floor and the ball's in his hands and you're a Celtics fan, you are happy because he's just making the right play more often and more often and more often. He's becoming a better playmaker. He's making those guys around him better. With the 7 assists, that's big time. Plays 44 minutes. Just monster stuff from Jayson Tatum. This guy is legit. He is a bona fide star, and he's just going to be just a fantastic player for the Celtics for years to come. And so if you're a Celtics fan, you've got to be excited. The other guy, it's interesting. You look at Jaylen Brown, plus 14. He struggled from 3 tonight, 1 for 7, but he was 10 for 17 from the field. That guy is just a baller, and he gets buckets. And when he's hitting his 3, it makes this Celtics team so good. But 8 rebounds for Jaylen Brown. I mean, you've got to give credit to Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. That's 20 rebounds between the two of them. 2 wings getting 20 rebounds. When you're like shooting guard and wing or whoever you're having, they play with like 3 wings with the Celtics usually. When those guys are getting that amount of rebounds, that's fantastic. And that's what allows you to play small a lot. Because a good defensive possession, like we've talked about before, is a possession where you end with the rebound. If you don't get that defensive rebound and they get like a putback or another 3-point shot, kick out or something like that, that's a bad end to a defensive possession. And so when you have guys like Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, who had nearly a triple-double tonight, getting those rebounds, that's monster stuff. Monster stuff. Really, really good. I love Jaylen Brown. He's one of my favorite players. I know he's not as talented quite, or just has the toolkit that Jayson Tatum does, but he is a winning player. And, man, his defense in this series, and that shows up in the plus-minus, his defense is phenomenal. I mean, he really shut down Pascal Siakam. I mean, that's the big story of this series is how bad Pascal Siakam was on the offensive end. On defense, he had moments. Even tonight, he had really good moments. He had some bad moments too, but offensively, Pascal could do nothing, and you've got to give credit to Jaylen Brown for that. His defense was fantastic. The other guy who just finds ways to win games is Marcus Smart. Like, game-winning block. He drew like 2 or 3 charges. I mean, if you're rooting for Toronto, and Toronto guys, I found myself rooting for Toronto this series, the underdog a little bit. I mean, it's just frustrating to play against Marcus Smart. If you're like, you hate him. If you're whoever you are playing against Marcus Smart, he's going to go at you 100 million miles an hour. He is going to draw charges. He's going to fend his heart out. He's going to like dive and kill himself to try to get rebounds and steals. He makes shots. Like tonight, his shot was actually pretty decent, 6 for 15. He couldn't hit a 3 tonight, 2 for 10. But his defense kept him in this game, plus 13. My goodness. Marcus Smart is just like a fun player to watch. 6 assists too, by the way. He's just one of those guys that it's like a utility defensive player. He's just incredibly athletic, and he plays with tons of heart, and you can't hate on the guy. I mean, if you're a Toronto fan, you can hate him all you want. But if you're a pretty impartial watcher like me, I mean, you just got to respect it. That's a lot of what I had to say about Boston. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Gordon Hayward, if he can come back and play well for them. I think he really is kind of that glue piece that can move the ball a little bit, take some pressure off of the others. He's an okay defender, but I guess that's all they need. I just wonder, honestly, like, I kind of feel like if I'm the Celtics, I would like to start Marcus Smart with Gordon Hayward and have Kemba off the bench because Kemba hasn't been all that great. Tonight, 14 points, 1 for 7 from 3. But really, the impact wasn't that great. You know, he had that nice little and one at the end of the game, which was a big shot. But you know, he can be exposed, and the Toronto didn't really have a big way of exposing him. Kyle Lowry did a lot throughout the series, and Van Vliet. But when you go against Miami with a lot of weapons, they're going to try to find ways to expose him. And I wonder if you want him off the bench. You know, we'll see. We'll see what they do. For Toronto fans, Toronto, you know I love you guys. What a rough end of the season. You've got to feel good about this team. This team lost arguably the best player in the league and still had a chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. They were my pick to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and they almost did it. So not a lot to be ashamed about if you're a Toronto Raptors fan. You have a great coach. You have great pieces. Pascal Siakam was awful this series. He was just not great on the offensive end. On defense, I felt like he was really good, and there was a reason he was on the floor, is that defense. But man, he had so many moments, and Toronto was able to overcome it last game. I mean, even last game, you had Pascal like doing turnovers, missed shots, weird isolations. We talked about it last time, and Toronto was able to overcome it last game in double overtime. Tonight, you just couldn't. I mean, Pascal had so many bad plays tonight on offense. The turnovers were just killer. 5 turnovers for Pascal Siakam. Tonight he shot 41% from the field, which is actually pretty good. He actually had a pretty decent night scoring. 0 for 1. But those 5 turnovers don't tell the whole story. He just could not affect the game in a positive way on the offensive end very much. It was really rough. 13 points is really tough with one of your best players playing like that. Marc Gasol was kind of a disaster, minus 19. I don't know why he was in there as much as he was. He just is so big and slow, and with Boston just moving around like they do, it wasn't great, and he's not a very big offensive threat in a lot of ways tonight. 6 points for Marc Gasol. You know, I would have rather have played a lot more of Serge Ibaka and then have, you know, switchy defense with all these long, because Toronto has so many long, young, athletic defenders, and just with Marc Gasol out there, I just felt like it really hurt him. 28% from the field for Marc Gasol. That's rough stuff. 5 rebounds. Whew, tough. 3 assists, but you know what? Toronto has the tools to play small when they're playing small, and it's what happened last game, and I wish Serge Ibaka got more time. Serge Ibaka, 14 points, 5 for 9 from the field, plus 6 in the game in a loss. I didn't understand that very much, but that's how it goes, and it's rough. I'm sorry, Toronto. You have a great team. I love Kyle Lowry. He's a lot of fun. He is a great, great player. I would argue he's arguably a Hall of Fame player. Rough stuff, but it's been fun watching these games. I've been watching Clippers Nuggets, and I wanted to do this video tonight because Game 7, we'll probably do a Clippers video for that next game, possibly a Lakers video tomorrow. We'll see. But, guys, that's all I got to say. Like and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. I will talk to you later.